Hello everyone and welcome back to the Workbench. Today we're going to make our next video in this series of videos talking about making my Smith & Wesson, my M&P, great again. Now, in this video we're actually not going to be working with the gun. Rather, we are going to be working with magazines. So I'm going to take, because I number my magazines, I'm going to take my number 1 right there and my number 2 magazines right there. So number 1 and number 2. If you don't number your magazines, I recommend you do it. If you get a malfunction, you're going to want to remember which one it was so as to look at it when you get home. So we're done with the rest of this. We're going to set it aside. We're going to work with our magazines today. Let's get our mat out here. Okay. Now, you're thinking probably, how can you make your M&P great again with the magazines? Great question. That's easy. We're going to put on some magazine extensions. And as part of that, we're going to test to see how much ammunition it holds. So there's ammo present today. But you'll notice we case the gun and we put the gun somewhere else. Alright, so before we get into anything, as you can see, I ordered these from Taylor Freelance. So I had a chance to speak with Robert Taylor over there at Taylor Freelance. I spoke with him on the phone. Fantastic individual. I highly recommend giving him some of your business. He's a great guy, and I say that because, as you can see here, I ordered the 9mm or .40 caliber magazine base extensions. What I also ordered was an M&P magwell. But if you look here, I ordered the 140mm M&P with spring red anodized, but I ordered the magwell for the 45. He actually caught this and called me and said, "Hey, are you sure you wanted the 45 magwell? You ordered the 9mm base plates." He looks at these orders, guys. He understands that people make mistakes. He's not going to just ship you a 45 caliber magwell and 9mm base extensions. He understands that stuff. He's been doing this long enough. Great guy to work with. He caught that for me. I said, yeah, go ahead and switch it over. Anyway, here's the pricing on it. As of when I purchased it, I ordered 2 of the base plates here, the extensions, $40 each, and the magwell was $57. I ordered the aluminum one, not the brass one. I didn't really want the added weight, so I stuck with the aluminum. So we're going to go ahead and install these. Now, as you notice, these are unopened. So let's go ahead and get at least one of these things open and take a look at it here. First things first, though, we're going to look at this. Now, I will say he didn't just send this. It also came with new springs. Now, you'll notice these are tapered, fatter on the bottom, skinnier on the top. That's what I'm assuming they do. They fatter on the bottom, skinnier on the top. It looks like we're going to use the existing followers that we have, but everything else is going to get... So the follower and obviously the magazine itself, but it looks like maybe the internal base plate too, so we'll look at that. So, construction. Man, that looks solid. Taylor Freelance logo on the bottom. I got the red. I wanted it to be a little different, so I got the red. Black was cool, but can add some color somewhere, right? I also got the red magwell. Now, I will say the magwell's on back order. The part that holds the palm swell in, that little tool that you can use to take down the pistol without pulling the trigger, that tool obviously is replaced when you put a magwell on there, a flared magwell. But that part that holds the magwell and the palm swell in place is the only part that he doesn't have. So he has the magwell ready to go, he just doesn't have the part that holds it all together. So as of ordering it, again, he called me, he said, "Hey, these are on back order. I also noticed you ordered the 45 versus the 9. We caught all that, and I said, well, can you go ahead and just ship the magazine extensions, and I can at least get those on, and whenever the magwell comes in, just, that last part comes in, just send it to me then." So I'll wait to install that, but know that it's coming. Okay, so let's take apart number 1. We'll set aside magazine number 2 for now, and that spring, and let's focus on just number 1. Now, there's a couple different ways you can take these apart. Use a punch. I'm just going to use a cleaning tool to press. Slide forward. There we go. There's my base plate. There's the existing spring. Now let me show you existing spring. Looks like that. So you can see we're going to get more ammo in this magazine. Also a great time, now that this thing's completely disassembled, to clean your magazine. Alright, let's look at these instructions here. Remove your stock floor plate and any locking devices attached to it. Set them aside. If you're using a spring you purchased from us, yes, remove the follower from the magazine spring and set the spring aside. So that's, there we go. You can see how it hooks in. Literally just that hook goes into that hole. Alright. Set everything aside. Stock spring, I'm going to set it aside with the stock floor plate there. Alright, next. Attach the follower to the new spring and reassemble the magazine using our floor plate. Do not use any other locking parts. That would be this. So do not use this. Okay, guess I don't need that either. So it looks like yep, okay. So this is going to end up sliding on, and I need to remove this, and it looks like it swings around. So let me see if I can find. Yep, okay, so that is a 5/64. 5/64 Allen key. So Robin Taylor, if you're watching, I don't see that on the installation instructions. And I don't see that anywhere on here. So again, 5/64 Allen key is what you're using. And I recommend putting that somewhere on here. You'll notice it says will not fit 45 calibers. That's a different part. Okay, so let's just go ahead and loosen this thing up. Swing it around. Look at that. M&P9 40-140F 316. Okay. So let's put this spring on here. There we go. That's it. That really it? Attach the follower to the new spring if needed and reassemble the magazine using our floor plate. Okay. So this would be interesting. How do I slide this thing on? Oh, just like that. And then this thing swings behind. And that's it. Wow, that was incredibly simple. Alright, while I'm tightening this down, let's look at this. I only get to, so it's like more of a common problem type of thing, it looks like. I only get +2. That's our #1 customer complaint on +4 and higher extension. So this one is labeled as adds at least 5 shots. So we're going to test it. So I've got the stock one. We're going to test to see if this adds at least 5 shots. So I only get +2. That's our #1 customer complaint on +4 and higher. On high cap magazines, the front to back alignment of the floor plate and magazine tube can vary. In some cases, this leaves a little shelf of our floor plate protruding forward far enough to catch the follower on the way down. To fix this, bevel the back inside surface of our floor plate slightly and put a matching bevel on the bottom of the follower legs. This allows the follower to slide over any small misalignment and provide maximum capacity. Okay, so what he's saying is, let me open this one up and show you. By the way, Robin, incredibly easy to put that on. I expected more work than that, to be completely honest with you. I don't know why I expected more work than that, but I did. Alright, so what he's saying is if you only get +2, put a small bevel on the back side of the floor plate, back inside surface. So the back inside surface of the floor plate, right in here, might need a small bevel. So even a hand file actually probably work perfect on that. And then he says do the same thing on the follower itself, on the back inside of the follower, just add a matching bevel. Let's see if that is required here. So I've got a 17-round magazine. I know it holds 17 rounds. I've loaded these things hundreds of times. So in the interest of time, got that out. Shout out to Freedom Munitions. Great product at a great price. I've never had any problems with their ammunition, and for between 19 and 20 cents a round, I mean, it's tough to beat. All right, so theoretically, 17, this is at least plus 5. So 10, 20, 17 plus 5 would be 22. Let's go 23 and see if I can get 23 because I've heard 5, 10, 15, 20, 23. I have heard it'll add plus 6. So again, we're using ammunition because the gun's not on the table. All right, here we go. That's 17. Let's see how many more I can get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can I get that 6th one in there? Oh, man. Just shy, it looks like. So, my number is 22. So this adds, it says at least 5. Yep, that's 5. So that is 22 rounds. It's actually got some weight to it. So that's the other reason I didn't add the brass magwell, because I knew I was going to add additional rounds down here, and as part of that I knew that would add more weight itself, so I didn't see the need to add additional weight in the form of a brass magazine well. I figured aluminum would do just fine, and given that this is so light, this can't be much lighter, if at all, than the magwell. So that magwell is not going to add a ton of weight, but I like that. I like the way it looks. Let me download this one, build this one, and then we'll stick it in the M&P and we'll see how it goes. All right. So what I would say is, when you put these things back together, don't over tighten these. It is aluminum, so you don't want to strip out the tapping that's gone on inside these drilled holes here, and I feel as if the aluminum housing, the extension itself, will strip long before these Allen heads ever will. So just don't over tighten, just snug them up. If you're concerned about them coming loose, put some Loctite on them. I may go back and throw some Loctite on these, but we'll see. So there we go. Now let's put our tools back and see how they look in the gun. Alright, so a lot of you are probably wondering, alright, how much weight does adding a base plate actually add to the magazine? And here's a stock magazine, comes in at 3.15 ounces, and we'll compare that to the one with the aluminum base plate, comes in at 4.25 ounces. So to answer your question about 1.1 ounces, not very heavy at all. Got our handgun, completely unloaded here. Of course, I will link to all the products that I'm putting on this firearm in these videos. I will link to everything in the description below, and that includes the Taylor Freelance website, where you can go and buy these extensions. They come in a bunch of different colors. Again, I chose red. You can get black. I think he's got blue on there. So let's see what it looks like with the stock magazine in. So there's a stock magazine. Nothing really to write home about. Alright. And there is the extended magazine base plate. That actually looks really good. There's some red on the top here. I've got some plans for some other stuff for this that will help bring out that red. So when I throw that flared magwell on there, which is also red, you'll see that magwell really show up too. So I like these. They look good. They actually, that added weight at the bottom will probably assist in the magazines dropping faster. Also, when I'm grabbing these things out of my magazine holster, theoretically, anyway, this should be easier to grab out of the holster because they're longer. Be able to get more of a purchase on it and really index that point. So, went from 17 rounds to 22 rounds. It weighs 1.1 ounces heavier and looks cooler, I think. Looks better in the gun. So that's a stock. That's aftermarket. So thank you, Rob and Taylor over at Taylor Freelance. Again, I'll link to all this in the video description below. So with that, I will say thank you for watching this portion of this video series, and stick around because I'm going to be doing some more stuff to this to really bring it up to what I feel is competition ready. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll talk to you again very soon.